going to Tazio to test the Ohlins that we installed in the last episode. I don't think we can do it flat today. The last two times that we went to Tazio, the weather was nicer, so you could see mountains and everything. Today is a little bit more sad, but this is what we usually used to. This is still a track review because we will go, even if we go to Tazio, we still go into a new version of it, which is the longest one, which have been available for a couple of years, but we never discussed about it in this series. Caffè. So we're back at Tazio for the third time, but there's something new. We are reviewing and driving the longest version, the 5,260 meters one. It was released just recently in 2024, so a couple of years back, and having driven several thousand kilometers in the short circuit, I was very excited initially. They doubled the length and brag about being the second longest track in Italy, the first one being Monza. But is it really twice as fun? The new part of the track starts from the chicane of the last version. Actually, I don't do the chicane, you just do the first 90-degree left, and then you jump into the new section, which is a series of fast left corners. The 90 degrees on itself is something new for the track because there is never been in the shorter version a short duration corner, so a corner with no mid corner. Then also the subsequent fast left are quite interesting because they're flat for pretty much all the cars I've driven there, but they still teaches you about track positioning because they are not that easy flat. You cannot do them however you want. The braking at the end of that series is also interesting. It's also quite a rare situation to find in tracks because it forces you to brake in combined load because it is a closing J corner, so it concludes into the hairpin, but you have to brake while cornering, which is quite interesting. Then you have the straight, but the straight, which despite being long, it connects two slow corners, and this almost hairpin and another 90 degree. So I don't think it is quite interesting, maybe for much more powerful car just to pull a gear more, but for us it is not very exciting. And then there is the last part of the section of the track, which is the one I'm most disappointed with because it is very narrow and twisty, and it was not needed for this improved version. I'm not saying that the long version is not worth it, but let's say just that I'm a fan of the shorter version, which on its own is pretty complete and enjoyable and very good for a home track for road cars. Let's talk also about the other hot topic about this video, which is the review of the Ohlins and the white line solution altogether. First of all, some practical information. The car is just 1.5–2 centimeters lower, but it's already hitting the ground. We drove to the track with the damper clicks already for the circuit, and I'm not saying it's super bad, but I don't expect it to be very different for other set of coilovers, just saying this. Handling-wise, the expectation was to have something more pointy and oversteer in, let's say, all the part of the corner, so trickier to brake and to enter, so less stable on entry, more oversteer in mid corner, and probably oversteer in power on. This unfortunately did not happen. Nothing to worry, because the enjoyment is about to try this, to expect something and be surprised at the track. The last thing is always to look for the surprise in life. And so the enjoyment is just to figure this one out. So I'm happy with this. But there's something strange in this behavior, because in some corners there's clearly an improvement with respect to before, and the expected result happened, like in the 90-degree corner that enters in the new part of the track. But in some other part of the track, this behavior was less than expected, and it actually left me speechless. I cannot get over the fact that I cannot do the fast chicane flat. So I don't know whether the issue is that the setup is too much to the front, which I don't think so, because on the other part of the track the rear slides a little bit. Whether the tires are used, because in fact this is the 4th track day that they do, so maybe that's a big factor into that. So those are good reasons. I don't know if they explain why we can do the 90-degree on the left decently and we cannot do the fast chicane flat, but maybe just the track shape that favors that 90-degree, which is the first time we experience in this circuit. So maybe it's just me getting old and useless, probably, but I don't think I worsened much since last time. The good thing is that I'm from the future and I've already figured this one out. And also there is another track they booked, so why not subscribe and find out together with me. In the meantime, you can write down in the comment what do you think it is that did not allow me to express the instability on the car in every corner. Why can I do the 90-degree left decently? I cannot do the fast chicane flat. Thank you for watching and see you next time.